Look what I just picked up. I think 1964 Fender Showman. I got it in a pawn shop for $2.99. I know it says $7.19 there. That's not accurate. I'll explain that later. It looks like it used to be blonde, but somebody painted it. So this is probably really early 64. And they painted the grill cloth too. All right, let's see how it looks inside. So the story with this is I saw it on a pawn shop's website months ago, and they had it listed, I think, at $11.99, $1,199. And I could tell just by the pictures that I didn't want to pay that much for it. It was obvious that somebody had painted it, and it was a Showman, and Showmans aren't one of the more desirable vintage Fenders, and I had no idea what the condition of the circuit was inside. Looking good so far. So I decided just to wait it out, and maybe 3 or 4 months later I checked it and it was at $2.99. And at that price I figured I couldn't afford to not buy it. First glance, it looks to be pretty much all original. I figured just the parts that I could see in the photo were worth $2.99. So I hit buy it now and drove an hour and a half to pick it up. So this was a nice surprise. I didn't expect it to be so clean inside. Wow, not seeing any replaced parts. But as far as I could tell, nothing had been changed on this amp except the tubes and possibly the power cord, which was still 2-prong, but I'm not sure if it was the original 2-prong. A little sticky. All right. Look at that. Well, that doesn't look good. All right, let's see how this goes. We have sound. That works-ish. And that works-ish. Cool. Next, I disassembled the amp in preparation for the stripper that would hopefully remove the paint from the tolex. I just tried to be patient and let the stripper sit on the paint until the paint started coming up. I was a little nervous that the stripper might damage the tolex, but it didn't hurt it at all. And the stripper I'm using here is called QCS, and it's made by Stripwell. If you'd like to try it for yourself, I have a discount code in the video description that will get you 10% off your order at stripwell.com. So the grill cloth here was also painted, and I want to try to get this paint off, but I think I should take this off of the backer board because this is painted black, so I assume it's painted black under here too. So I don't want to just put stripper on here and take this paint off, but then also have the paint behind it come off. I think the best way for me to do this is to remove the staples, take this grill cloth off, and work on it like that. Okay, it's been soaking about 20 minutes, and you can see paint starting to come off. So that's good. Just gonna let it keep soaking for a while. All right, it's been soaking a couple of hours now, and most of the paint's gone, especially in this area. Still need to work on these areas down here. All right, I got all the paint off with no damage to the material. So now I just need to staple it back on. So there's lots of loose tolex back here I need to glue back down. But first, this piece came off of here. I don't know what you call this, maybe a cleat. And it's got a couple of staples in it from the factory. Not sure if they even used glue here. Maybe there's a little bit on here, but not much. So I'm just going to put some glue in here, see if I can use the staples to reposition it and actually hold it there while the glue dries. Otherwise, I'll just clamp it. There it is. Well, I got the cleat glued up, but now I just noticed that this one is messed up too. Somebody already re-glued this, but they put it in the wrong spot. It's over about, I don't know, a quarter inch or something, kind of slanted. I'm going to try to remove it and then re-glue it in the right spot. So I'll just scrape this old glue off and re-glue it in the correct spot. And then I can glue the tolex back on. So the vibrato on this amp wasn't working so well. It was really weak. I could just barely hear the vibrato coming through. And the way the vibrato works on these amps, well, I don't really know how it works, but I have a very basic understanding. And they have this thing called I've seen it called an optocoupler or an opto-isolator, or some people just call it the roach. So I'll just call it the roach. And that's what I'm messing with here. It's basically a light and a light-sensitive resistor that are stuck together in some heat shrink. So the light will blink, and the speed that it blinks depends on the speed control for the vibrato. And then that light-sensitive resistor senses that light, and somehow through science it creates the vibrato. So I could see the light going on and off. So that appeared to be working. And everything else in the vibrato circuit, as far as I could tell, seemed to be working, but it was still just really weak. And I just happened to have an extra resistor. This is one of those light-sensitive resistor, and I'm sure I'm not calling it by the right name, but anyway, I got this in a bag of parts with another old Fender that I have. Not sure how well it works, but I did hook it up to a multimeter, and you can see here as I move my finger back and forth, the resistance changes. So I thought, well, maybe the resistor in the Showman is bad. So I tried putting this other resistor in with the bulb from the Showman, and I just cut some new heat shrink and stuck them together and put that into the circuit. But the vibrato still didn't work. It was the same thing. You could just kind of barely hear it. So I decided just to get a new Roach and see if that fixed it. Because again, as far as I could tell, it seemed like everything else in the vibrato circuit was working. So I put the new Roach in, and the vibrato came back to life. Mostly. Yep, works. Once the intensity gets below maybe 5 or 4, the vibrato isn't that noticeable. It's around 5 it starts getting noticeable, but I don't know. It's way better than it was, and I'm just going to stick with this for now. So I'm not sure what the reason for that is, but I'm just going to leave it for now like it is. I don't use the vibrato anyway, and I'll just come back and revisit it at another time if I want to try to get it working better. And here it is, all finished. Let's see what it sounds like. Thanks for watching.